Abby with Motor City Nerds, and before this video gets going, I just want to say, I don't think that Euphoria is to blame for anything, that's for sure. It's the same argument as saying violent video games cause people to go out and commit acts of violence. I don't think that. I didn't feel good. I cranked this show out, and I'm like, this is odd. This is strange. So it's not like I'm a prude or something. I'm just like, whoa, what do you... I think you're trying to say one thing, but you're really not saying that. I might upset some people, and I was never planning on doing this, but I didn't feel good the past couple days, so I cranked through all of Euphoria. The show isn't good. I'm the first one to say, like, we can all enjoy things, we can all like things, whether you dislike them or like them, we can all talk about them in a respectful way, but I went into this because of its popularity and everything with these goggles on of this must be this monumental, great, fantastic thing, and then about halfway through season 1, I was like, this really isn't doing anything. It's really not going anywhere, and I'm uncomfortable watching it. People don't know how to write for teens, okay? Teens wouldn't do elaborate blackmail, and spoilers, blackmail things and all this shit, and then there's no, like, conflict going on. But this suffers from the same shit 13 Reasons Why did. That's not even my qualm with it, though. My qualm is, and I timed it, and it was way too long, I don't give a shit how old an actor is when they're portraying somebody that's supposed to be 16, 17 years old, and you are lingering for 45 seconds to a minute and a half on their nudes or their sex tapes. That is weird. I'm a grown adult. That makes me uncomfortable. I was never planning on watching this show, and I was never planning on reviewing or recapping it, and if you like it, that's fine, that's okay. My issue is with the people making it, because these are very strange and weird choices. You're sexualizing young girls. It's weird. And then what bothers me the most, and I hate when anything does this, I hate when movies do it, I hate when TV does it, when you tackle huge subjects that should be discussed and should be talked about, and then you hide behind that. So if anybody critiques it, then they're going, oh, well, you don't get it. No, I fucking get it. I was a teenager not that long ago. Essentially exactly what happened with Rue's dad, that's what happened with mine. It's like, I should be able to relate to this character. Like, I was doing shit I shouldn't have been doing when I was that age. I was hanging out with really bad people. Like, I can relate to this, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I can't, because this is so ridiculous. I don't need to see all that. You can get across to the audience that this girl sent a bunch of nudes out, she's over-sexualized, and now she's looked at a certain kind of way by all these people without showing me her sex tapes and her nudes for over a minute and a half. I timed it. That's weird. That's weird. You don't need to do that to get it across to the audience. You can still show it of all of them sitting around looking at a phone, and we would understand, like, oh, that's what's going on here. But no, you have to zoom in and show this girl a million times who's supposed to be portraying somebody who is 16 or 17 years old. That's creepy and weird to me. When it comes to the drug use, I thought that was fine. Like, you do, like, the way you're showing that. My issue was, there's some really strange things going on here, and then you want to praise yourself on being so down-to-earth and relatable, but the truth is you're not. Kids don't talk like that. Kids wouldn't make elaborate blackmailing schemes. This wouldn't happen. This wouldn't take place. At first I was saying, okay, is this for adults who pay for HBO, or is this for teens? Because both of them have pros and cons in each camp. That's the problem here, and my issue with that, and comparing it to 13 Reasons Why, is stop doing this with teen dramas. Stop trying to make rapists, and people that hurt kids, and people that are abusers redeemable. They're not redeemable, and this is what I mean with the character problem. I don't like any of these people, except for Fez. And if you think that they thought that we were all gonna like him, you're wrong. I guarantee you after season 1, they went, we need more of this guy, and I'll get to that. But the truth is, all these characters are assholes. All these characters are dicks. There's no conflict to be resolved. Nobody is dealing with their shit that they have going on. Nobody's actually dealing with anything, so you're just showing the destructive parts of things and not showing a resolution. I can sympathize with the situations that they're bringing up all day. Like, I can sit here and say that, yes, I think that these are problems, and these are things that should be discussed, and these are things that should be talked about more openly, for sure, 100%. But I also have a grievance when any TV show or movie does this. Don't sit here and hide behind heavy subject matter, and then anytime somebody critiques it, it means that they feel a certain type of way about things. No, I can agree with, like, suppressing your sexuality is bad. It can come out in dangerous ways. Drug use. All of that. Oh yeah, are we gonna get into, I was 250 pounds at my heaviest when I was younger, so it's like, I can totally understand, like, the overweight girl storyline going on, but you stereotyped her real quick, and then you want to sit here and say that you're so woke, but then you're shit-talking other things that doesn't make you woke. Telling people that not having a job and being a stay-at-home wife and supporting your husband is a bad thing, and shit-talking it, that is some people's dream. I had a couple friends that they always wanted to be stay-at-home moms that took care of a household, and that's a job in itself. So putting that down, wrong to do. stereotyping the overweight girl of I hate myself and how can I even like myself and blah, 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 but I'm putting out this image of I really don't care, but really I do care. Great, we've seen that a million times. It would have been more interesting if you had her actually feel the way that she's pretending to feel. You know what I'm saying here? And if you actually had this, if you would have, and the dad coming home with his dick out, that was all strange and weird. Also, cops wouldn't just come the second you called and said there's a child predator. They would have to like investigate and things like that. So that was weird. I kept waiting for something to happen, then nothing happened. So it's like this Nate guy, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit and I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad that your daddy was mean to you and I don't feel bad that he had a bad dad. I don't fucking feel bad. I don't feel bad for you. I want you to get the shit kicked out of you every episode because narratively speaking, on a screen, that's what we want. We always want that. We always want people to get their revenge, or this person that's being an asshole to get the shit kicked out of them. We don't, but then with shows like Euphoria and 13 Reasons Why, then they want to go, oh, well, you know, let's redeem. No, fuck that. They're not redeemable. Like, that's not how it works when I'm watching something. I can sympathize with those situations, but no, I don't feel bad for you. I'm sorry. Like, yes, the cycles of abuse should be talked about and broken, but I'm sorry, buddy. I hate you. At the end of the first episode, I was like, if this ends up being somebody's dad from this motel, I swear to God. And of course it was. And I'm like, okay. But when he came home with his dick swinging in the wind, here's what should have happened, is they shouldn't have had him banging kids. That they shouldn't have had that happening. They shouldn't have made it Jules, because that ended up going nowhere, literally, because she knew she was putting her. You should have had this girl just putting herself in dangerous positions with men in an unhealthy, unsafe way and dealing with that. Not making it somebody's dad, not making him the big bad that owns all the town. Like, we've seen all that before. And then you're making it this weird plot. But when he came home doing that, what should have happened is take Jules out of the scenario, make it so just the dad is sleeping with men on the side. The mom already knew about that, obviously, and accepted it and stayed with him. And that kind of sucks for her. But what should have happened is Nate should have went, oh my God, Dad, you went through the same urges and stuff that I'm having right now. And the dad should have went, yes. And because of how I suppressed it and everything, it's destroyed my life and it's fucked me up. And now I'm a piece of shit and I'm not right. And it's okay for you to feel this way. But instead of having that moment of clarity, we don't do that. We just have this weird fucking blackmail plot going on. Oh, and the making it believe that this college kid beat up this girl. Like, that's so, teens wouldn't do that. And that's the problem here. Like I said, not only just the over-sexualizing young girls, because if you notice that it's always girls. It's always girls that they're lingering on, not the men. The men, yes, they show them with nudity, but it's the women that are really, it's really shoved down your throat. And the show just praised itself on being so woke and all this stuff, but I'm like, you're kind of stereotyping people, and you're kind of doing the same thing that other shows have done, but you're just very good looking at doing it. This is a good looking dumpster fire is what it is, and it's okay to like that. I'm the first person to be like, you can all like stuff or dislike them and whatever. It's fine, but it's not this monumental, fantastic thing that people are making it out to be. It's not. Other shows have done this better for teens. I don't agree with people saying that it glorified drug use. I do think it's glorifying little girls banging, though. That's for sure. And there's no conflict. I think all these characters are assholes, except for Fez. And that's exactly why we got so much of him in season 2. Because from a storytelling on the screen aspect, we like a character who stays to their morals, has a direction, we know how they'll react, we know how they'll behave in scenarios. Teens don't do that. Teens are irrational, they're emotional, they're over the top, they go off of emotion. That's why teens are so hard to write for. But with Fez, he's had to deal with, and this is what I mean, if this was the message, cool, but that's not what you're doing with all these characters. I don't give a shit about Rue. I think that, and I get that you are showing that addiction can destroy all the people around you and you're hurting all the people around you, but as a character, I don't give a fuck about you. You're an asshole. Jules, you're an asshole. But Fez was put into a scenario that he couldn't control, was raised in a lifestyle that he couldn't control, and he didn't allow that to dictate who he was as a person, and he's still a decent human being. Good message. You are also saying that putting yourself in this bad scenario, bad things can happen. So, good message. Like I said, it's just with all these other characters, why the fuck should I cheer for any of them? Why should I? Rue, you're destroying your family. You're fucking your sister up. You're fucking your mom up. You're having, as a character, taking away the addiction part, taking away all of that. I'm like, why should I like you? Jules, you're an asshole. All these people are assholes. And then I'm like, none of these kids would behave this way. Kids don't act like that. I really tried my hardest to get into this. And then when I was like, oh, this isn't some fantastic thing. This is just another teen drama, but on HBO, which I always thought was strange. I took the goggles off and I'm like, okay, well, let's just watch it from a teen drama aspect. Well, yes, some of these things could happen and probably do happen. I was a teen not that long ago. And I'm telling you that, yeah, a lot of these things could happen, but then again, a lot of them wouldn't. Once you start getting so crazy out there, I'm like, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. This is insane. Not only is it ridiculous and insane, but you can't praise yourself on being relatable and down to earth when you're not. over-sexualizing Cassie, you're doing all this stuff, but I get that for the character. It's not what they're saying. It's not what they're saying. It's how they're getting there. I get what you're saying with Cassie. This girl has been over-sexualized her whole life. She's been treated a certain kind of way because of what she's done. I can get down with that. What I can't get down with is why you need to show her nude all the time and for long periods of time. It's weird. And then I think I'm really going to hurt some people's feelings here, but I mean this in the best way possible, is that I don't want this to happen to Zendaya. I don't want her to get typecast this way, but the truth is, I'm real sick of this, oh, I'm playing the I'm so much better than you and I know everything and I'm too cool for you character. I'm over it. Because, and like I said, you can't have characters acting like they're 35, but they're really 16, 17 years old, but then when the story calls for it, now they're acting like they're a kid again, but then a minute later they're acting like they're 35, and she's been doing that in everything she's in, and that's the writing. That's not just her, that's the writing. So I just don't want to see this talented actress get typecast that way. I don't. But it's like, think about it, every character she plays is like this. Oh, I know everything, and oh yeah, I'm too, that cool thing you like, I'm not about that. Like, I got it. Okay, we get it. And then you want to have these weird vision, Tony Soprano-esque dream sequences going on, then it's like you're really leaning hard into that, but you weren't leaning hard into that before, so what's going on here? I'm hiding behind good editing, good filmmaking, and it's crappy writing, and especially when it's aimed at teens. And then people want to sit here and say it's aimed at adults. Okay, well, if it's aimed at adults, that's even worse, because this is making me uncomfortable as an adult. Drug dealer stuff. The drug dealer stuff, that would never happen. That would never happen. Because if you make actual money with somebody, it's like a business. 99% of those times, those people are about business. You know what I mean? And if you started fucking around with somebody from their family, their significant other, their friend, whoever was behind the person you do business with back, and fronted them a bunch of work, that would be looked at as extremely disrespectful. And that person would not want to do business with you anymore. That would fuck up their money, and they're normally about the money. They would be telling you, get the fuck out of my apartment. They wouldn't be listening to anything you had to say, whether it's a good plan or not. Unrealistic. And that's what I mean here. I'm like, okay, well, if you guys are going to praise yourself on being so woke and all this shit, then I'm going to nitpick it for that. There's no resolution. There's nothing going on. I don't want to cheer for any of these characters, and the one I did want to cheer for, you took them out the game, essentially. So what are we supposed to do with that? And then, like I said, Rue is destroying everybody around her. So why should I cheer for her? Jules, you're an asshole. Why should I cheer for you? Nate, you're a piece of shit. I was waiting for you to get the shit kicked out of you since episode 1, because nobody, I don't care who you are, even if you are the popular kid, nobody would watch, a grown-ass man, essentially, some big dude start throwing shit around a party and then get in a girl's face and say, I will fuck you up. You want to know what would happen? You'd have your ass beat. That's what would happen. Finally, a hero emerged and beat this kid's ass, and then you want me to feel bad for him and say, oh, well, no, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. He's a fucking creep, and he's a bad guy, and that's what it is. And when you're watching something on a screen, that's what I mean here. Same thing with 13 Reasons Why, same thing with this. You're going, oh, feel bad for them because they have a bad home life. No, on screen that doesn't work. In a book it would work. On screen it doesn't. We're going, you're the villain, and you're the good guy, and we want the good guy to win. Point blank, period. Other thing that I had an issue with is when you want to push the suburbs all hard, and whenever anything is pushing the suburbs as like a big thing, it's saying like, look at our perfect little world, and we're in this little bubble, and bad things don't happen here. Just like with Edward Scissorhands, that's what I compared it to on my Snapchat story. When we watch Edward Scissorhands, it's this perfect little town, and it's supposed to be suburbia, and then this freak on the hill coming down and messing with that. When you keep pushing the suburbs all hard, you're normally trying to say, like, just because everything is nice and pretty on the outside and we have this image of looking good doesn't mean that our lives are perfect. And guess what? Maybe you should talk about them. Maybe you should fix them. Like, that's what you're trying to say here. But when the story calls for it, just like the problem with, you have them acting 16, and then a minute later you have them acting like they're 35. But just like with that, you have them, you're pushing this suburbia setting, but then when the story calls for it, you have it almost like a metropolis city setting. So which one is it? Are we in the suburbs or are we in the city? Which one is it? All over the place, and you keep making references to things that I grew up on from my generation, the music, Sailor Moon, all this shit that you're bringing up. Those are references to things my generation grew up on. So why'd you place it in 2019? I highly doubt they would be listening to the same music and making the same references that I was making 15 years ago. And then you say it's about teens and all this important shit, and I get that, and you want to say you're opening up dialogues, but the truth is you're not. You're shutting them down, and you're going, here's an issue that takes place nowadays, but we're not going to resolve it, and we're not going to give anybody any way of resolving these problems. We're just going to keep showing how it destroys you. At first I went into it with kid gloves on. I've made 2 videos about this, and I deleted them both because I was like, oh, well, if it's a teen drama, I'll be nice to it. But then I was like, no, you're on HBO. You're on HBO, so I'm going to come at you with HBO gloves on. I just didn't understand why this was so popular. That was my thing. I was like, why is this so popular? Why is this it must be so great if it's this big. And then I didn't feel good and cranked it out, and I was like, no. There's no story happening. It's just their everyday life, which is like, if you're going to do that, then do it in long form. Don't have it be in seasons like this. It's just strange. And then, like I said, the sex stuff, I'm like, no, you can have that. Teens have sex. That happens, especially now with nudes and sex tapes and stuff. That shit happens. And then you're like, God, I made a horrible mistake, or I didn't make a mistake, whatever it is. And it's like, no, those are things that could be talked about. It's it's with everything in this show. It's not what they're trying to say. It's how we get across saying it that I have a problem with. Because then I'm going, okay, if this is for teens, here's where there's issues. And then I'm going, okay, if this is for adults, here's where there's some serious issues. And then people want to sit here and tell me, oh no, it's about raising a teen now. Okay, well then why isn't it through the point of view of the parent? And how come this drunk alcoholic mom who's letting her daughters do whatever they want, how come she's the best parent and the only one honing in on, there's something wrong with my kid and I need to get to the bottom of it? Because that's sending a bad message too. And I'm just like, if you really want to talk about this, like I said, then talk about it. But stop trying to redeem scumbags. Stop. None of these characters are likable, I feel like, personally. I don't know who I'm supposed to be cheering for. I don't know what the main conflict is. And then you want to say it's relatable. Okay, well, you threw that all out the window when you had them acting like they were 35 and dressing like they were 35. You threw all that out the window, and now we're here. And so I'm like, I'm not shit-talking this. It's beautifully shot. It's wonderfully acted. I just am like, this is weird. And I don't get it. I don't get why it's... I don't understand why it's so popular, and the truth is it's not narratively very well done. It's just a teen drama, and it suffers from all the other things teen dramas suffer from, except the problem is, why are you sexualizing kids so much? I don't know. You can still say kids are banging. You don't need to show me like this, though. And it's the same with everything in this show. I'm like, you can't do this and then do that. You can't stereotype the fat girl and then go back. And you can't stereotype and then go back. And then it's like, what? And what is happening? And then, like, at both times, I didn't realize I was watching a finale. I'm like, this is the finale? This is it? Don't sit here and tell me you're all relatable when you're not. And it's not weird if you like watching this. What I'm saying is, the people making it are weird. It's how we're getting there. It's what you're showing. It's what you're writing. And then, please, tell me, what is the main conflict? What's the main conflict going on, and what are any of these characters doing to resolve their problems? And I get it, teens probably wouldn't resolve their problems, but that's the issue with writing for teens. You can't make them act like they're 35 and then have them not acting like they're 35. Cranked 2 seasons out, so I was like, I guess I'll talk about it, but it's weird. I'm like, it's weird, and I don't know why this is so popular unless kids are watching it. And then I'm like, well, that's kind of a problem, because guess what? Nobody has professionally done looking nudes or has a fully developed woman's body at 16, and you're setting unrealistic body standards. And yeah, you shouldn't be this cool, calm, and collected about things. Normally kids are irrational and over the top, like I said, but it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But the way it's shot is beautiful. The way they interweave all the characters and stuff, that's very well done. But I kept waiting for something to happen, like Big Little Lies with teens in it, and then it never happened. And like I said, please tell me down in the comments, what is the conflict? Who am I cheering for? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I like I said, you can relate to characters and like things and it not be good. This is just good-looking garbage. And I like things, I like my garbage. You better believe it. Like, I have my things that I like that aren't Oscar-worthy or whatever. It's a good-looking teen drama. It's a good-looking, well-acted teen drama. That's all it is. And I don't have an issue with what they're trying to say. I think that's very good. I think my issues come from how you're getting there. And I know I keep repeating myself, and I'm like, I'm shocked by it when I'm watching it, because I'm like, what? Where is this relatable? And then I'm like, okay, where it is relatable, you're not showing how they would fix something. And it's like, okay, but if you had good writing for a teen drama, it wouldn't come off this way. And then you can't go into over-the-topville and then tell us you're not. You can't go into, we're not stereotyping people, but then you are. Like, you don't get to do that and then praise yourself on saying you're not doing that, because you are. So yeah, I don't hate the show. I don't think it's terrible, nothing like that in any way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is I didn't understand who this was for. I still don't understand who this is for. The main people I see talking about it online are kids. Like, me personally watching this, it was just a little odd. So yeah, if you hated this, that's fine. If you liked this, that's fine. I think that Euphoria is a little bit strange to be on HBO. I don't exactly know who the demographic is, and yeah. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, and I don't hate this. I'm just, and it's okay to like this. I'm just like, it's a little weird. And I don't think it's on the viewer. I think it's on the people producing this product. That's what I think.